What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrubae here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are all having an absolutely fantastic day. I know I am. Happy Thanksgiving. I know it's the third time I've said it. As you guys can tell from the title, today I'm basically just going to be doing like a full review of Call of Duty Cold War's multiplayer. I know obviously this game's been out for a while. I'm officially level 55 though. This gameplay is a little bit older. Regardless, I figured I would do it because I know a lot of people have been commenting whether or not they should get it for Christmas. So here's my honest opinion. And yeah, let's get into it.
I know that bitch like me. Yeah, looking fresh, all white Nike.
Alright, so I'm gonna open it up with this. If you are a Call of Duty fan, like if you've been playing Call of Duty for some time and you genuinely enjoy the games, then I would get this game. Cold War genuinely is pretty fun, in my opinion, on the multiplayer front. There are parts that I'm not a giant fan of, but we'll get to those. But I will say, if you're a fan of Call of Duty, if you don't have it yet, it's worth picking it up. It's pretty fun, in my opinion. I'm gonna talk about everything I like about it first, just because, you know, I feel like that's a little bit more fair, and I don't have a ton of stuff that I dislike. So the things that I really enjoy first, I will say the engine feels smooth, the guns feel smooth, everything feels pretty good. I do play on mouse and keyboard. Everything on my end plays smooth. My PC is pretty beastly. I have seen a couple reports of some AMD processors having trouble, and I've had a couple crashes on launch day, but ever since then, things have become way more stable. The game itself is really good looking, as you can tell from the gameplay. It is that newer engine. It kind of got rid of that old like cartoony COD look, which takes some getting used to if you're a fan of the older games, but I do like it more the more I get used to it. The weapons themselves, the snipers, you know, they aren't the greatest, but I will say they're pretty fun to use. That's what I've been doing mostly, is just sniping. They're pretty great. They're not as OP as some of the past games, but I don't know, it's still possible to snipe and have fun with them. Other good things, I feel like the camos and the challenges are rewarding, but not too hard. They're a little bit harder than Modern Warfare, where genuinely, if you just kind of sat down for like a couple hours, you could get a gun gold pretty easily, especially with those 24/7 playlists. But in this game, they're a little bit harder, to the point where seeing somebody with a gold gun lets you know that they've got some experience with it, but not so hard that you basically have to be like Nade Shot or someone better than that to get them done. I finally got the Pellington gold. I think it took me about like 900 something kills with it, and most of that was just leveling up. Like, I had every challenge done, but my gun wasn't level 50 yet, so I couldn't do the last set, which means it's possible to do them no matter what skill level you're at, you know, but they are rewarding. Other things that have changed, the leveling system itself. The gun levels take a lot slower time to rank up and level up, and while I know a lot of you might think that's a bad thing, I genuinely think it's gonna make the game more fun to play for a longer period of time. I've been playing quite a bit, definitely not as much as people who are like crazily addicted to it. I have the Pellington gold and the Tundra, the one that I'm using right now in this gameplay, I have like half done. But even then, I have another sniper, and genuinely on Modern Warfare, it took me like one day to get all of the snipers done straight, whereas it's taken me a couple weeks to get the snipers done in this game, and there's less of them. When it comes to game modes, it's the classic stuff. There's really nothing crazy new. This one you're seeing, the momentum game mode, has been in a couple game CODs before. This is my favorite version of it so far, especially with the larger maps that are basically just a blown up version of a smaller map in the core game. Other than that, no new game modes is kind of a bummer, or if there is anything new, it's not too crazy. I guess they do have that VIP mode, but the momentum mode itself is the best iteration, I guess. And the thing with COD at this point is it's kind of like, yeah, expecting them to innovate game modes when some of these game modes have been tested and enjoyed for 15 years has got to be pretty difficult, because if the game modes they launch with aren't perfect, the COD players just really won't give them a chance. That being said, that's the positives. I do like the game. The gameplay is good. There is going to be some stuff I'm going to complain about that I think you should take into consideration, but I will say, if you're a COD fan and you just kind of want like a fast-paced FPS shooter with a lot of players on it, with just some stuff to grind and get done, this is probably the game for you. That being said, I will say the skill-based matchmaking in this game is absolutely bonkers, dude. If you have a good game, just be prepared next game to get destroyed destroyed. It's just so up and down, and it adjusts so quickly. And while yes, I'm sure that's the entire point because it's supposed to make you like addicted to the game, it is aggravating to go like 30-6 one game, and the next game you just go 6-30, and it's just back and forth constantly. Very rarely, outside of times where I'm just kind of not paying attention or like goofing off, do I have games where it's just like okay. And that's because the skill-based matchmaking is very, very, very strong in this game, which you know, depends on the person. I personally feel like it kind of kills matchmaking just because I don't know, there is gonna be a ranked mode later for a reason, but if every single game is constantly like a ranked mode where I'm playing against people that in theory should be at my level, if not better than me, this kind of defeats the entire purpose of a ranked mode in the first place. Regardless, I will say it is pretty strong, so if you're looking for a COD to like sweat in and have fun and pub stomp, I would not pick this one up. If you want a challenging game where every game's gonna be like pretty difficult if you're trying, that's fine. I'm constantly sniping. I really don't ray gun a lot, so my skill-based matchmaking, now that I've kind of quit trying to even ray gun M16 MP5, has gotten a lot better, just because since I'm sniping, you know, I can't really hang with all the kids on Adderall. But regardless, I would take that into consideration if you're looking for more of a casual shooter. This one's skill-based matchmaking is insanely strong. Along with that, I don't know what genius, and by genius I'm saying that very sarcastically, decided to launch a COD multiplayer with only 8 maps, 9 now if you include the Nuketown remake. It's just not a lot of maps, dude. Like after, you know, 12 hours of playtime, you know every map inside and out. Nothing really feels new and exciting anymore. And while I really like the idea of the large game modes being bigger versions of the small maps, when you only have 8 maps and then 2 out of the 3, or actually all of the large maps, are basically just blown up versions of smaller maps, it just kind of feels lazy, especially when I'm paying $80 for an FPS game with small maps. Only having 8 of them just kind of feels like a little bit of a slap in the face. And while yes, I know that they're gonna add a bunch more throughout the year, dude, I would love for COD to go back to launching with 10 or 12 maps just because it makes the gameplay that much more fun when we have some variety. And of the maps we do have, most of them just aren't very good, dude. Call of Duty 3-lane maps genuinely were some of the best map design I've ever seen. Think about all the iconic maps from it. And for some reason, this game decides to just basically throw that formula out the window and just add super cluttered maps with way too many ways around and sneaky paths and whatnot. And while, yeah, you know, I know how to use them, I can use them to get kills too. Like, look at this spot that I'm using right now in this gameplay. They can barely even see me, and I can just eat them alive. Like, it's plenty of spots like this on basically every map that, you know, previously weren't really in COD, more battlefield campy spots. I will say though, the core game, like the gameplay, the weapons, everything feels good, but another complaint is there's just not a lot of weapons, dude. There's 3 snipers, and the marksman rifles don't exist. Like, at least in Modern Warfare, there were few snipers, but, you know, you had the Kar 98 and that one lever action weapon that was pretty similar to a sniper rifle. You know, you could use it as one, and that was fun. That was great. But there's literally 2 snipers that are usable in this game because the 50 caliber scope, I'm not even kidding, there's a configuration where it takes over a second to zoom in, you know? So that's annoying me as a sniper. There's a lot of MP5s being used. It's by far the best gun in the game. A lot of like M16s, a lot of XM4s. And while there's always really strong guns in every COD, like nobody is saying that there isn't usually OP weapons, it feels like I only see the same like 2 guns everywhere in this game. That being said, the core of the game, I feel like this is a COD that will get very, very good as time goes on. Like genuinely, I could see this being up there by the end of the development, a lot like Modern Warfare, how it got a lot better through its life cycle. It's just kind of annoying to have to buy a game when it's not very good and have to watch it get better instead of just getting the good game. That being said, like I, you know, previously mentioned, if you are a COD fan or you like first-person shooters and you don't mind waiting a little bit for it to get better, I do think the game does have a lot of potential in my opinion. I do get some of the criticism I do. I will say before like anybody says, oh, you're a fanboy, yeah, I have played Call of Duty since I was like 9, so I do enjoy them probably than the typical consumer, but I am having fun playing the multiplayer. There's a reason it's all the gameplay has been for the past like 2 weeks. It's because I'm playing a lot of it. So if you're just looking for something to binge, you know, get something for Christmas. If your parents get you a lot of games, then I would ask for this one. But I will genuinely say, if you're somebody who only gets a game or two a year, you can wait till the Warzone update drops. Get the Warzone version. Make sure you still like it before you commit to the multiplayer, maybe. Because I don't know. Maybe you'll love it. Maybe a Call of Duty game is exactly what you want. But if you're, you know, somebody who definitely doesn't get games often, I would do your more research, because it isn't something that everyone is going to love. It's great. As a Call of Duty game goes, it's a pretty solid one, you know, compared to what we've gotten recently. But I wouldn't say that it's like one of the best games to come out in the past 5 years, no. Anyways, guys, that's my 100% honest review. I will say, genuinely, I'm having fun with it. I'll give it that, but I don't know if everyone else will love it as much as I have. Hopefully, let me know if you guys found this helpful. I'm not a professional game reviewer by every means. Like, if you were looking for somebody to tell you about the quality of the gameplay is akin to the swagger of, you know, that's not gonna happen on this channel, but hopefully it helped some of you decide if you want it or not. If it did, if you wouldn't mind liking, commenting, all that good stuff, I would appreciate it. Subscribe, turn on notifications. I post videos pretty often, and you don't want to miss out on any of them, because trust me, they are all just chef's kiss. Regardless, if you want more content, I do have a podcast called the Scuffed Cast. A link will be down below. Other than that, you can get some of the merch links down there as well, and so is the intro song. Last but certainly not least, if you become a member here on the Scrubae channel, you get a shout out at the end of every video, and you're very much appreciated. So big shout out to Philip, Coleman, Arrow, Logan, Nick, Venom, Typical Panda, Tom, Master Milks for the boys, Aaron Loves Scrubs, Antog, Chronos, TNT Yourself, Savage, Way Too Psycho, Pepe the Gamer, Bored, Braff, I Am the Imposter, William Dubois, Qwerty, Christian, Ender, Mackenzie, Geo, Kyle, Nick, Parker, Jellybean, Sam, Brony, Wolfos, Potassium, Benedicti, Ma, Man Madness, Brandon Grove, Slick Pickle, Kim, Dylan, Tiny Proxy, Zorik, Dashy, Savage, Unreal Decoy, Y'all Like Rotos, Bees, Johnny Dude, Cosmic Ramen, Candy Rose, Fabulously Terrifying, Chandler Lewis, Ryuki, Sparky, and Why So Blurry. Thank you all so much for being members. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're not, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.